Hey guys, welcome to this new video how to avoid bad software architecture decisions. This video would be interesting one with two new concepts to learn that are really useful in the software architecture world. But before that, guys, this video is part of a series and if you like to learn till the end with me, please subscribe and share. Okay, back to video. It was always a question to me that why people make bad software architecture decisions if they know these decisions can cause a lot of mess in the long run. Why people write code in such a way that it will become hard to add new features or to fix issues in the future. After researching, I found out that it is all about decisions that we make during the timeline of the product. What and when you are making decisions. Interestingly, it all boils down to two categories. One is based on eagerness and one is about laziness. Eagerness is when you take decisions too early, and laziness is when you took a long time to act on something that should have done before. We will look into each of these and the things that can help us to avoid these decisions. As you can see, there is something called last responsible moment principle that can help us to avoid eagerness. It tells us when to take decisions about a requirement, when to say that this is how we should do it and we are sure about it. Second thing is about technical debt. You may have already heard about it, that technical debt we should keep minimum to avoid making mess of our application. So apply last responsible moment principle and minimize technical debt. Now let's look into each of these. Okay, about last responsible moment. As you can see in the graph, on the y-axis we have a cost that is increasing as we go up. Higher you are, the more cost you have to pay. And on the x-axis you have the decision time. On the x-axis, the decision time means we are taking more time to take a decision. So it is increasing when we are going on the right side. I mentioned previously that changes are inevitable in an application and business requirements change very frequently. When we start something, a product or a new feature of the application, there are chances that requirements are still not clear. And the mistake that we do at this stage is to take decisions. We assume some things are right and will be, but are not. This will cause the application to become so inflexible based on those decisions that it would be very much costly to change those decisions. So as you can see in the graph, initially, when we are at the early stage of development of a feature of the product or the product, not taking decisions is decreasing our cost. It is very easy to change our application as we haven't made any solid decisions and it would be really easy to refactor code if the requirement changes. And after some point, what we call last responsible moment, the cost started increasing again. So that was the moment it is imperative to make a decision. If you don't make a decision, the decision will be taken automatically as we cannot proceed further without it. If you defer now, we will be at the same stage where wrong decision is taken and the cost is increasing again. So cost is decreasing until a point called last responsible moment after which the cost started increasing again. So this is the ideal point where we should make a decision. Now avoiding decision before that does not mean stop working or do not do anything. The key point is to create your application or code so flexible that it would be really easy to change it afterwards. Generalize this so that you are not depending on solid implementation. It seems hard to find this point, but the key point is that avoid making a decision until it is really necessary. One example is working with the interfaces. So on the left, you can see we have a module that has the dependency on an interface instead of direct implementation. For example, module is not directly calling MySQL, MongoDB, DynamoDB, or any other database provider. It is only calling the interface methods like get, save, update, delete. So for example, today we are using MySQL. In the future, we converted to MongoDB. It doesn't affect our module. We are still calling the save, update, delete methods, but behind the changes, implementation changes. So it doesn't affect module. It is very easy for us to change. Okay, the second thing is about technical depth or clean coding practices. So this is all about the best practices that we have to use in our code and the technical debt that we have to pay. So what is this? Often during development, we come to a phase where we have to deliver something faster and we put on hold our best practices or best coding principles to deliver it faster. And we say we will refactor it later to follow these good principles, and we put it into one we call technical debt. And when you have technical debt, you have to pay interest, which means it would be hard to create new feature when debt is high. As you can see in the graph again, the y-axis is cost again and the right is the time. So as your technical debt is increasing, the difference between the ideal maintenance time or the cost and now the cost with the technical debt is high. The difference is high, as you can see. As the technical debt is increasing, the cost is increasing. We have to do a lot more work. We have to do a lot of refactoring to now maintain the application as compared when we do not have any technical debt. So technical we should avoid technical debt or minimize technical debt to be in our optimal state. Again, there are two views here. One is to avoid technical debt, as some people say it will never do any good to you or to the application. Second is that some kind of technical debt is good, as you can work on priority items by putting something on, but not for long time. As you can see, the interest will cost a lot with time. So conclusion is use last responsible moment to avoid making decisions early, making your application flexible until a decision is made, and avoid or minimize your technical debt. Thank you guys. Please subscribe for more upcoming videos.